Episode 2 of my video game FLAPPATRON, available right now on Steam. I did a video about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, doesn't really matter, it doesn't matter at all, but it was basically me sitting here and chatting for about 25 minutes about the development of FLAPPATRON. The title was, why FLAPPATRON was so hard to develop, and the thing is, I don't want to upload it because, even though I didn't really mention people by name, apart from Yusuf, who is my current programmer, who is amazing, I'm going to put that shout out there, definitely, I was being so negative the whole video, and I kind of feel like it's a bit of a pity party on some bits, and even though it wasn't meant to be, I am just literally telling you how it is and what happened, it still comes across like people are going to watch it and go, oh my god, that sucks, and oh, poor Dex, and this is this. I don't want that. I really don't want that at all. Yeah, I've been through some shit with this game. Yeah, I've had people lie to me and fucking bullshit me around and rip me off, and I've been fucking naive as hell. And, you know, going forward, I've completely changed my mentality and stuff. But, so instead, rather than be negative and talk about the bad things about the game, I'm just going to give some tips for indie developers who want to start out, who are kind of like me, who have, you know, some skills and some stuff. You know, I can write, I can voice act, I can act, I guess. I can do a lot of things that I can do for my game. So I'm not just at a point where, you know, you're starting from complete scratch. Sorry for the cut, something just popped up just now. Anyway, so here's my tips for people who want to get into game dev, and, you know, I've been... Basically, you can avoid all the pitfalls and all the bad decisions that I made from the get-go, is what I'm hoping, at least. So, the first tip I'll give is just, you've got to do more research. And I wish I'd done more research, because if I had known how good Unity was, and the things you can do with it in comparison to Game Maker, I wouldn't have even considered Game Maker. Unity is so much better, and it's so much easier, and there's so much stuff you can do with it. You can buy the assets, you can go online, there's courses, there's so much shit. You can learn, you know, proper coding for it. It's just a great program compared to Game Maker, in my opinion. But that also leads into my second advice. Don't take everything that other game developers have said as gospel, you know? Again, I won't be naming names, but a friend of mine who made a game, he was the one who basically said you should use Game Maker, this and this. He'd made a game before, you see. So obviously I had all my trust in him. I thought he knew what he was doing, and Game Maker was obviously atrocious. The programmer that was his friend who recommended made me the engine. It was a piece of shit, and it's literally caused, not exaggerating when I say this, this is the reason why FLAPPATRON is taking, oh, spyware. This is the reason why FLAPPATRON is taking 20 times longer to develop, because of this one issue, because of I listened to somebody, and I also put my faith in a programmer I didn't really do any research into, didn't really know a lot about, and he, you know, I just put all my faith in him, and he fucked me around a lot, messed me up, ripped me off, all this shit. So, you know, you've got to do your research, and you've got to get people who, you know what they're doing, and all that. So you're gonna have contracts in place, all this kind of stuff. Like, that's really important, because I've had really bad experiences with programmers. If I'm honest, they're probably one of my least favorite people in the world. I think they take advantage of people who don't know programming a lot, and they will take advantage of you, man. I know not all of them are terrible. You know, Yusuf's great. I fucking love him. Paul, who worked before Yusuf, we had a few clashes every now and then, but for the most part, like, he's been great, and he's a good dude. So that's kind of changed my opinion a little bit, but, you know, you have to kind of know a little bit about how the process works and a little bit about programming. Also, you know, have some sort of, you know, try and get involved. There was a point where one time I had a programmer near the beginning, and he was literally spending an hour importing assets, and I turned around and I said, why are you importing this shit? Why don't you just import the files from the cutscene thing that I can do? And he was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, let's do that. What a waste of an hour. What a waste of my money, because I was paying him hourly. So that kind of shit, you know what I mean, is important. If you can get a programmer who would just take a cut of the sales, that would be, like, ideal, really. That's kind of what you want, because it takes off the stress and the pressure. Also, you know, work with somebody who you actually know will fucking do it, is motivated and has the drive and passion, and isn't completely set on the money aspect, because that's where shit goes bad. Whenever it comes to money, it's where things always clash, things get fucked up, every time. So having that cut and percent is really important, especially if you have someone in place, you know, let's say they want to leave and they can't do it anymore, or have someone in effect where, like, you know, if they're not basically working to what you want, you're able to get rid of them and get somebody else. Like, that kind of stuff is really important. Like, make sure you have full creative control of your project. Yeah, just because that kind of stuff happens all the time. Make sure you cover your ass, basically. Make sure you got contingency plans for everything. Third tip or fourth tip at this point, I don't even know. Start small. Start with a small scope. FLAPPATRON, I fucking went off the rails with the scope. Though in my defense, not completely my fault. Like I said, that cutscene engine, what you should do is you should literally just take... What the fuck was that? Literally. You literally just have the cutscene engine. You should just drag in the cutscene file and it should just play everything at work. Obviously it didn't because it's a piece of shit. And it's taken, you know, the programmers in the past, but he's got to convert all this stuff and it's been a nightmare. So in my defense, that's not necessarily my fault. Well, it isn't my fault at all. In terms of the importing process, because I obviously would never know that. But it is my fault because I have my faith in this guy and I was one who employed him. So actually, it is my fault. I take that back. Yeah, just start with a small game. A small game. Even if you're making something tiny, like, you know, just buy an asset on the asset store, move it around, and you just jump around and collect something. Just anything really small, you know? That would... Just gotta start small. And don't add features on it. Just keep it nice and simple. Don't go big, don't add stuff on it. Just keep it... Just keep a small scope. It's really important, that is, I think, for your first game. I went too hard, but luckily, you know, I was in a position financially where I could splash out on my game. I went 5 times over budget. Most of that was because of my programming, which was a waste of money because the guy didn't even do anything, hence why I said ripped off, basically. Really did fuck all, to be honest. So, like I said, taking advantage of you. So you just gotta be careful with all that kind of stuff and try and stick to budget. And if you can program yourself, that would be ideal, really. Yeah, so see what I mean? I'm getting that negative pity party bullshit again. I don't want to do that. Make sure your script and everything is, you know, written up. You've got a lot of documents for programmers. Everything you want to do is kind of there and ready to go. One of my biggest things was that I'm so used to doing everything myself and having full creative control of everything in my life. I didn't write up everything fully for the programmers, and sometimes I kind of winged it a bit and we kind of had to, you know, the thing was fully written up, which completely, again, that's definitely my fault. And that's something that I've definitely fixed going forward, for sure. Just need to have everything set in stone and written out for everybody you're working with. But as a whole, you know what? As a whole, can I just say this? Game dev isn't that fucking bad. FLAPPATRON is a special case where everything was 20 times harder than it needed to be. My current game, which you don't know, make another game in the background because all the FLAPPATRON work is pretty much done, so I'm making another game at the moment. It's called Go Go Jump, and that has been great and easy and smooth. My artist is getting everything done on time. Getting everything done. I won't say on time, but you know, and he's great to work with. Tutron, fucking amazing guy, love him. My music guy, Rowdy, I mean, he's amazing. Did a soundtrack for FLAPPATRON, and my current programmer, his name's Mustafa, he's great. And, you know, I can make all the cutscenes myself because I've learnt it. So there's a lot of things I can do. It's smooth, it's easy, and it's chill. Another thing as well, don't set release dates for your game until you're in a really good state. There's no point, unless you're working for a big company like EA or whatever the fuck, Ubisoft. Don't worry about setting a release date. Just work on it and get it polished and then just release it when you want to release it. You know, work on your own time and be chill. You know what I mean? It's weird how great it is to work on this other game. Seriously, it's, I'll say 100 times easier, less stressful, and better, and I'm fucking loving it. FLAPPATRON is a special case, but if you've got any questions about game dev, or need any advice or whatever, I do have a Discord, so if you ever want to have a chat about something like that, or you're interested, or maybe you're somebody who wants to get into game dev, maybe you're a programmer yourself, or if you're an artist or anything, I'm always looking for people to work with, especially on little games. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, yeah, feel free to join my Discord, like shoot me a message in the FLAPPATRON discussion thing, or whatever really, but hopefully those things helped a little bit. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but maybe I'll do another one of these. Oh my god, I can't speak. Maybe I'll do another one of these in the future. We shall see. But yeah, thanks to everybody who's bought FLAPPATRON, played FLAPPATRON, will continue to support me. I really appreciate it. There is some FLAPPATRON merch actually down below if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But either way, thanks so much for watching. And anybody who is going to be a game dev, my final words are, it is going to be the hardest thing you will ever do. It will be harder than anything you've ever done before. But to be honest, once you get into it, it's not as hard as you think it is, if that makes sense. It's fucking difficult at first, it's a crazy amount of work, but once you get used to it, it doesn't seem that bad. Like, it feels quite easy at the moment, to be honest, so, you know. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.